Hello and welcome. It's Róisín here, out in the west of Ireland, with another video full of sketching tips. And today's video is all about values and why you need to know them when it comes to watercolour. We all know the importance of good values, but nowhere more important is that than when it comes to watercolour. If we use values correctly, we can show drama, we can show sunshine, we can show shadow, we can show atmosphere, and it's not difficult. It's not difficult to learn how to use. A really good way to get into knowing your values is by just choosing one colour. A dark colour is better, like burnt umber or Payne's grey or sepia, one of those darker colours, and to just use that one colour in different dilutions, different concentrations to achieve a really dramatic look and get to know your values really well. The other day I went up the road to a ruined house near where I live in County Galway, and I just used burnt umber to capture the house in all its sun glow magnificence. It was a beautiful sunny October day, and I was able to capture the darks and the lights just with one colour alone. And in today's video I'm going to show you a few steps on how I did that. Now, what did I have with me? Well, I of course brought my sketch pocket up the road with me. It is my special little art bag, and in it I have my Fude pen by Sailor, 55 degrees, and in the pen I have dark brown or brown document ink by Diatramentis. I have my Hanamola A6 250 gram 100% cotton sketchbook. Love those books. Onto the pages I clip my magnetic clips. They hold the pages down, stop them flapping in the wind, but also it means that I can attach my paint box to the magnetic side on my sketchbook. And those are by Roman Schmal Aquarius, fabulous quality paints, my favourite. And then I can paint the whole thing in using my water brushes. These are by Sakura. And I also bring a little vial of spare water with me when I go into the field, because there's nothing worse than running out of water when you're halfway through a sketch. So I sat in the sun, had a fabulous hour or so, and I'm going to talk you through what I did and see if you can pick up a few tips on having good values in a watercolour sketch. And if you like the video, don't forget to press the like button. And if you like all things sketching on location, then do subscribe to my channel, because I'm all about that over here and it's my favourite thing to do. Okay, enjoy the video. Hey guys, well I'm walking up the road to Tyrone House. I'm going to go up here to a point where I can see Tyrone House really nicely. And I'm going to show you how I did a values sketch the other day. So I'm just coming to the point where I sat on the wall on Saturday and really had a lovely time sitting in the sun sketching. And as you can see, it's a very overcast day today. Let me turn the screen around. This is how Tyrone House looks most of the time, really. Well, it's either that or you can't see it all because it's completely pouring rain. Or maybe you can't hear your thoughts about it because the wind is howling so loudly. So all in all, it's a pretty bleak place. But then every now and then you get a day like this. So I wasted no time in going up the road and getting out my paints and getting going. Well, I thought you might be a little bit curious as to what it looks like on the inside. So I nipped up and I took a few little bits of footage of the house on the inside, what's left of it. It still gives me the creeps a little bit, even though there's nothing there but barn owls. Probably foxes come to curl up at night time, I don't know. And there's always rooks, of course. No one's lived here since 1905, and then the house was burnt in 1920, and that was that. But back to the present day and happier moments sitting in the sunshine on a glorious October day. So I have all my little bits of kit in front of me. I'm sitting on the wall just in front of the house. And my first thing to do is to try and get those shapes in a very, I suppose, strong way, get the bones of them down. And because I'm a little bit frightened of messing up and making a mistake I can't change, I do the whole structure using a very, very dilute watercolour. If you make a mistake, if you put a line in the wrong place, it's no trouble just to wash it away, dab it dry and start again. So you can change it as many times as you like in that way. It's very useful if ever you're feeling a little bit underconfident about any shape. It doesn't have to be a building, could be anything. Once I'm more or less happy with my basic shapes, then I can put on my ink line. So I'm using my brown Diatramentus ink here. And any really dark patches like the empty windows, I fill those in with ink straight away. And if you like, those are your deepest value. Those are your very, very darkest colour you're going to use. A really useful exercise for you to do before you go any further is to make a row of boxes and number them 0 to 6, where 0 is no colour at all. 1 is the lightest dilution of burnt umber that you can possibly make. 5 is the deepest with the least amount of water added. And then 6, in this case, is made with brown ink. I did this in class with my sketch club, but it's something that you could try on your own as well. This is a great way for you to kind of put a shape on the different tones that are available from one colour, which become values when they're seen next to another tone. The front of the ruin is lit up by strong sunlight, but that doesn't mean it gets no colour at all, which is the usual thing I do to suggest strong sunlight. No, I give it a very light dilution. And why do I do that? It's because I want it to appear a little bit darker than the clouds that surround it. And if I make the house front completely unpainted and white, then it might take away from the shiny brilliance of the clouds. Now, I'd really love to show you all the in-between steps, but what happens, even with the best of intentions when I'm out sketching something, is that I get very lost in the moment. And before I know it, I look up and I'm done and haven't taken any interim shots. But don't worry, because if you would like to see every little bit of the process, all you have to do is sign up for my membership, my sketch club, and I will send the class I did with my wonderful club to you, and then you can find out for yourself how it's all done. On the other hand, you do have a few tips in this video that'll really get you on your way, especially the little row of boxes with all the different dilutions. That's going to be super helpful. And you can see that when you just use one colour in the field, if you're new to watercolour or not entirely confident, you can do the whole thing in one sitting, just sitting there and enjoying yourself, which is what I did. I don't think I added anything at all after I left the location. And here it is all scanned up nicely with the usual gutter down the middle. That is the bane of all sketchbookers' lives. But you know, I didn't stop with this little sketch. I decided to take it a bit further, and I'm working on a project at the moment about this area, about where I live, and I thought it would be nice to introduce the story with a little vintage map. So let me go and get my little companion and I'll tell you a bit more about that. Well, here's Ruben. Now, I had a little bit of a job in getting him for his piece, his moment on camera, because I've always assumed he really loves being on my lap and having cuddles and being filmed. But when I went to get him, he didn't come when I called him. He was in the lawn and he was in a pile of leaves or something. And he looked at me and he looked a bit cold, but he had absolutely zero interest in coming over. He didn't come over. So I called him again. And then what did he do? He went and hid. I kid you not. He went and hid. He went into one of the small bits of garden on the other side of the lawn, and he didn't come when I called him. So I'm a little bit disappointed in him. And then I decided, you know what? He's a dog. He's an employee, and he has to do what he's supposed to do. So I went and got him, and here he is now. And I don't know. Can you tell whether he's enjoying his job or not? I just don't know. Anyway, back to the vintage maps. So as you know, I did one last week sometime when I was finishing out this little book. and I really, really enjoyed making it. It was really, really enjoyable, very good fun, very creative. So I did this little one here, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I can see that this would have legs because you can do all kinds of things with it. For example, I wanted to show that that this is a very windy area, so I did the wind god, you know, the way you have the wind fella blowing along, and I did all the bits and pieces that are in the sea around here, and yeah, Ruben's trying to make nice now, but it's a very, very fun thing to do, and you'll be bursting with ideas once you start, and you can imagine them being useful for all kinds of occasions, like, I don't know, babies' arrivals and weddings, and you could do all kinds of things with a really decorative map. Think Hobbit, think, you know, the opening credits of a movie set in some make-believe land. Little maps, they can be done for anywhere, existing or not existing. So have some fun and do your own little vintage map, and stick to brown because it kind of looks very realistic to have the vintage colour. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Ruben, even though he wants nothing more than to just run out. So I suppose I should let him. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to join my sketch club, I'll put a link in the description below, and I really look forward to meeting you. Oh, wait. I just thought you might like to see some of the little people that I met when I was walking around Tyrone House. Well, I didn't really. I just like drawing little animals that I've seen around the area dressed in clothes. We've got a fox, we've got a shrew, we've got a barn owl, a rook. I don't know why it didn't get any clothes. And we have a lizard. And they're all little creatures that I've seen in the vicinity. I like to think of the animals moving in and the humans all gone. And the animals are in peace now and nobody disturbs them except me, who occasionally spies on them so that I can draw them better.